Giant Jacks Media. We are an AI-powered sales and marketing firm. This is my media channel called Giant TV, where I have incredible entrepreneurs, great people doing amazing things, and certainly Sailynn is one of them. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and grateful to be here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing this. And you and I were kind of talking a bit offline, and I was looking at all your stuff, your website, LinkedIn profile. You got a lot going on, as I said earlier. And so I just think you have a lot to share with folks that everyone would be interested in hearing. So I want to get into, Sailynn, describing exactly what you do. You're the fun business coach. Want to get that right? Fun business coach. Tell us what your involvement is. What's going on?
Exactly. So what I do is I am a business coach for women entrepreneurs, and usually they come to me at 3 different points in their entrepreneurial journey. So the first one is that they're at a time capacity, right? So it's like they have no more time to give, so they can't scale any bigger. The second one is everything that's kind of worked in the past to scale is no longer working. So 2025 we know was kind of a crazy year, and for so many. And so a lot of them are like, okay, all the stuff in the past is no longer working. So I need some help. Or the third group is newer entrepreneurs. So usually under 3 years in business, and they've been trying to go it alone and maybe have had a little bit of success. Their revenue's on the lower end, and they're just tired of being alone and trying to put all those puzzle pieces together on their own. And so they're looking for some guidance and a proven system.
That's a great, very clear. So, Sailynn, then is it any niche of owner and entrepreneur that you work with? And is it a size of a business, or does it matter?
So what I focus on is there are 4 core pillars that every single successful business utilizes. It doesn't matter whether you're Amazon, Apple, Airbnb, my business, or your business should too. And these 4 core pillars are in every industry. It doesn't matter the niche or the profession or brick and mortar or online or in person. It does not matter. I used them essentially the first time in my first business, which was a senior home care franchise. Mm-hmm. And then when I got into coaching, I developed them into pillars so I could clearly communicate them to the clients that I work with. And so I mainly work with service-based women entrepreneurs, and what they all have in common is that they're looking to scale to $1 million and beyond. Now, I'll tell you why $1 million, okay? Yeah. This statistic, so only 2% of women entrepreneurs will hit $1 million in business. And I personally think that's crap. I don't know about you, but when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, because when I hit my first million in 2010, when I should have been celebrating in my car, instead I was sobbing at 9 a.m. because I had just completed another shift for a caregiver who had called out sick. And so I don't want these women who truly want to scale to $1 million and join that 2% to have the same experience that I do. But I also think that there's absolutely no secret to hitting $1 million. Like, there is no secret hack or tip or trick out there. It really just comes down to having those 4 core pillars in place.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. Now, you don't have to give all your secrets away, but is it easy enough to describe, condense, what are those 4 pillars?
Absolutely. And there's no secret, right? There's no secret. So basically what I do is I take high-level business strategy that most women have not been taught, right? Men were programmed to lead, be bold, ask for the sale, think strategically, all of those things, and women weren't, right? And so that's why these 4 core pillars seem so revolutionary, but they're actually really simple. And so the first one is structure. And we do 3 things there. We figure out what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you're going to be going around on that hustle hamster wheel forever, just constantly moving the needle.
Wait. But what you want from your business or what type of clients? Like, what does what you want mean?
What you want for your personal life, right? So most people go into business and they're like, I want more time and money, right? Yeah. But if you don't get clear, then when you hit that level that you think is what you want, it's not enough, right? Okay. And so then you're on that next level, and you just feel like you can't get off that hamster wheel. Mm-hmm. So, what you want personally. The second thing is what makes you unique. I truly believe that everyone is their own unique unicorn, and we have to be able to share that to so your ideal client says, "Tell me more," right? So, what makes
Yep.
you unique? There's a million business coaches out there, right? But I do things uniquely. And then the third piece of pillar one is your signature program. This is where most of the women that I work with don't think they have anything signature, but they actually do. So we craft that, we package it up, and then you get that foundation. So that is pillar one, structure. That prepares us for pillar two, which is systems. It's everything from how you plan your day, week, month, quarter to how clients come on, off board, how you get leads, how you get sales, like everything.
Yeah.
That prepares us for pillar three, which is support. So in 2026, everything outside of your zone of genius needs to be done by a human or a piece of technology, right? And so you have to make sure that you have pillar one and two in place for those to succeed, right? So 90% of the women that come to me and say, I hired a VA and it didn't work. And I'm like, that's because you probably didn't set them up to succeed. It wasn't the VA's fault, right?
Yep.
And so all of those three come together in pillar four, which is streamline. We bring things together with technology, tools, and automations. We want your business to run 24/7 without you having to push all those manual levers.
I love it. Okay, so I mean, I'm so curious. So, Sailynn, when you're putting those things together, and then are you executing with your clients as well? Like you said, automation, these systems. Do you have the systems? You're putting those in place, or are you advising on how to put those in place?
That's such a great question, and here's why. So, what makes my signature program unique is the fact that it comes with support. Because I truly believe everyone is that unique unicorn, right? So I bought a franchise, which was a business in a box, because it was a proven system back in 2007, right? I was 26. I had no idea what I was doing. And I had the business in a box, binder back in the day. Everyone remember binders?
Yeah.
But I had support, right? I had an entire support team. So what makes my program unique is that I have the videos and the templates and the workbooks for the clients to work through in little bite-sized lessons. I want them to watch it and then go take action and integrate it into their business. But if they have a question on how to make it work in their business, they can get into a support session with me. And it's like, here's how we make this work, right? So I'm going to say to you, okay, here's your monthly planning system. Here's like the template. Here's the tools. And they're like, okay, but how do I make this work a little bit? And so we work together to do that. Because here's the thing. Essentially, what I'm teaching women is critical business thinking skills. These are the things that we just weren't taught. Luckily, I was taught them by my mother and my boyfriend, who just have this knack. But most women weren't taught them. And so I want them to understand not just a copy and paste. Let me just integrate this in, I don't want to copy and paste it into their business. I want them to understand why we're doing it. So in 6 months or a year down the line, and I'm not around because we're no longer working together, they can say, I remember we worked through that together. I can translate that into this situation I'm in now.
God, I'm loving everything you're saying. And by the way, I'm raising 3 girls and a boy. So anytime you talk about women, females, women were taught that, I am all over that stuff for my girls. So
yay!
I love it. Yeah, no, you're great. So let me dive in a bit. So when you're working with somebody, obviously people have to grow their business and do sales, right? And you mentioned automation. So let's say someone says, okay, I gotta do campaigns. I gotta reach out. Are you advising on that, the structure of that, how to do that with cold outreach campaigns, whatever those are with automation and AI maybe? Are you getting into that realm?
So depending on the client and what they're doing, I have a client right now who's a CPA and she's building out a new program for financial literacy. And so with her, we built the entire launch, the entire course. We built everything, the emails, the automations, the course itself, like all of those different kinds of things. But for other people, it's super simple. It's just a webinar with a couple emails, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends on their business, because I really don't believe in cookie cutter business strategy. I believe that everyone needs the foundation of those 4 core pillars, but you ultimately want to take the lesson of what, that is, like why systems are important, and then make it work for your business. Because here's the thing, if I copy and paste your business into mine because you're the expert and you tell me this is what you have to do, I might build an amazing business, but if it doesn't match my dream lifestyle, so that first thing, what did I want for my personal life? Then I'm going to be miserable because I just built this like beast of a business that wasn't aligned with what I personally wanted, right?
Yeah. No, and so when you're working with somebody, what does that look like? What's like, how long is a typical engagement? And are you meeting with them one-to-one, monthly? Or how do you structure that part of it?
So everything I do is in 90-day increments, right? So the women that I work with are at a point in their business where it's like, I need help now. A lot of them have early stage signs of burnout. So anxiety, fatigue, depression, can't sleep at night, waking up at 3 a.m., panic attacks, weight gain. And so 90 days is a really great period that I think to see results. That if halfway through 90, we need to make a little pivot, you can still see results, but it's not so long that it's like if we try a strategy and it doesn't really go well, it's like, okay, so we work a 90-day period. That's how long the program is. And then they can add on additional support. There's 2 levels of support, whether one is more like done DIY kind of deal with foundational support. We have group coaching, we have some power sessions, we have a community. And then the other one is like high level support where we get on one-to-one calls every other week.
I got it. Okay. And when you say 90 days good for measuring results, what results are you measuring when you work with people? New clients or something else?
We are measuring everything. So I am all about, and this is what I teach clients, is we need data in order to make decisions. So once we get the clarity and build their confidence in that first pillar, because that's what a lot of them really need, clarity and confidence. Then it's like, okay, go take messy action. And that's really hard for my perfectionists, right? And the imposter syndrome and all of that. But we build their confidence to a point where they feel they can do it. They go take that messy action, and then we gather all that data and we look at it and we say, okay, what did we learn from this, right? Like, are we going to the right ideal clients? Are we getting the responses that we want? Are things not hitting how we want them to hit, right? Like, what kind of people did we actually attract with our action? And is it working or is it not? Because once you have data, then you can say, okay, let's make some tweaks so we can improve it and go do it for another 90 days.
God, I love it. Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking of my own business and I'm like, okay, this is good stuff. This is really good stuff. So then one last question I have is, because I get this, when I work with people is, okay, am I going to get new clients? How long will it take to get new clients? Because obviously you got to get to $1 million and beyond. So that's got to be part of your thing. How do you handle that with your clients? When they say, Sailynn, when am I going to get new clients? How do you have that conversation?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where we want something that's concrete, right? We want to know. But in a business that I'm in, I can't guarantee your results. I don't offer a guarantee. And it's because I can't I can't guarantee that you're going to do the work, right? Some clients come in
Yeah.
and they get their 90 days done in 60 and they're celebrating their best month in 5 years, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Some clients come in and it takes them longer. Like on average, they're getting their clarity and building their confidence in the first 2 to 3 weeks. We're also reducing their hours within the first 2 to 3 weeks by about 30%. On average, by the end of the 90 days, they are increasing their revenue by 50% and cutting their hours by 50%. And a lot of it is just awareness, right? And focus.
Right.
They understand what moves the needle. They have accountability. They're taking action. They got out of imposter syndrome. And so they're doing the work that was kind of all over the place, but now we're focused.
Yeah, no, that's great because I have those conversations all the time. I get asked that, well, when am I going to get new clients when people come on board? And my response is almost identical to what you said. I said, look, I can't do everything. There's accountability both ways here. I know what I can do. I can measure everything I do, and we do. And if something's broken, we fix it or whatever. But I'm not closing the business. I'm not managing your pipeline. You are. And if that's not going so well, then okay. So what do you think about that approach? I mean, that's fair, isn't it?
I definitely think that's fair because everyone is different, right? And everyone is at a different point in their life and their business. You know, some people come in gangbusters and just hit the ground running. Other ones, it takes them a little bit, and that's okay, right?
Yeah,
they have lifetime access to my program. So if they make it through the 90 days in exactly 90 days, that's great. If it takes them an extra week, that's okay too, right? They can extend their support if they want inside of my membership. But you know, I think really the thing about it is you have to clearly communicate to them that I can do what I can do. Like I'm giving you the 4 core pillars and how to do it. I've done it. Other people are doing it. We can break down all the big businesses. But if you don't, like for you, have that back end infrastructure in place and you don't do the things that you need to do, then we can't guarantee results, right?
Yeah.
I think it's hard to guarantee results with like anything nowadays because there's so many variables.
Yeah, but it's true. But you know, you people are getting pitched all the time, and people send out to me, "Oh, hey, I'm going to get you 10 new clients in the next 60 days." I'm like, okay, for me, I just ignore that stuff. You know.
Yeah. Well, and so I usually question people is, you know, is it 10 clients that I actually want? I'm not looking for 10 new clients. I'm looking for 10 dream clients.
Well said.
You know, I don't want just humans. I want women that I can like make a difference with and that they are like, oh my God, I'm having an amazing experience, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just about the money. Because here's the thing. I worked in senior care for 10 years. I owned a senior care franchise. And I can tell you firsthand that no one at the end of their life ever said to me, I wish I had worked more, right? No, they all expressed to me their regrets. I wish I had a better relationship with my spouse. I wish my kids were here taking care of me instead of you. I wish. And so, you know, it's really just at the point where you have to live your life and have an amazing life and not just focus on the revenue.
Yeah. Everything you say is just resonating with me. Well, I mean, I could talk to you forever on this stuff. I love it. I want to tell everyone listening that wherever you're watching this, because we simulcast this everywhere, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, is that Saylynn's information will be around this video. Maybe it's up here or down here. And I imagine, Sailynn, you'd be okay with talking to somebody to get to know them initially, get on a Zoom or a call or something like that?
Absolutely. I offer a 30-minute complimentary scale strategy session call where we'll dig into what is your biggest frustration, and then we'll put a 90-day plan in place in order to map out how to get over that and then get to that next level.
Great. Love it. And so thank you, Sailynn, for being here. This has been wonderful. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk again, I know.